rearing black soldier fly larvae is currently seen as a green revolution, attracting thousands of newcomers to the field of sustainable agriculture. Thanks to its ability to convert organic waste into high-quality protein, nutrient-rich organic fertilizer, and significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions, this model promises attractive profits. From small-scale home setups to large commercial farms, the waste conversion ratio can reach 2 to 3 kilograms of raw material for 1 kilogram of fresh larva, with a protein content of 40 to 50% on dry weight. A very impressive figure. However, the harsh reality is that many farms have failed within just the first 3 to 6 months, leading to loss of capital, loss of time, and even complete closure. This is not because this insect species is difficult to raise, but mainly due to hidden risks and avoidable mistakes that newcomers often fail to anticipate. In today's video, we will explore the main reasons behind the common difficulties in rearing black soldier fly larvae. The goal is to help you understand better, prepare more thoroughly, avoid common issues, and increase your chances of success. Whether it is a small home model or a large farm, most problems arise from a few basic technical points, not because the fly species itself is hard to raise. Based on real experience from large, long-established, and highly experienced farms in China, here are the 4 biggest risks that newcomers commonly encounter. First risk, low survival rate. This is the leading issue, causing 60 to 70% of newcomers to fail, right from the first few batches. Under ideal conditions, the survival rate of black soldier fly larvae can reach 90 to 95% throughout the 20 to 25-day cycle, meaning only 5 to 10% of the colony is lost. In reality, many small farms only achieve 30 to 50%, leading to loss of stock, no product to sell, and quickly losing motivation to continue. The main causes of mass mortality include the following 4 factors. First, temperature exceeding the threshold. This is the most dangerous silent enemy. Larvae develop best at around 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. When the temperature inside the tray exceeds 38 degrees Celsius, often due to natural heat generated from food decomposition combined with high-density, sealed trays, or direct harsh sunlight in summer, the larvae enter severe stress. They stop eating, shrink, and die gradually from the bottom layer upward. Just 4 to 6 hours of high heat can cause noticeable weight loss, and if prolonged for a few days, it can wipe out your entire larvae colony. Many newcomers carelessly assume that the outdoor temperature is suitable, but in reality, the temperature inside the tray is always 5 to 10 degrees Celsius higher than the surrounding air. The simple solution is to monitor temperature with a thermometer, use ventilation fans, provide shade, or spread the trays thinner during hot, sunny weather. Second, overly high rearing density, causing suffocation and disease. Many people stock 8 to 10 larvae per square centimeter or 7 to 10 grams of eggs per square meter to boost output quickly. The result is severe oxygen deficiency, strong growth of anaerobic bacteria, leading to infection and mass death. Harvest time is prolonged, larvae are weak, and waste conversion efficiency is poor. The golden number is usually 5 to 6 larvae per square centimeter to balance productivity and colony health. The advice is to start with low density, observe whether the larvae move freely and whether the tray surface remains dry and airy. Third, unsuitable or toxic feed. If the feed is too dry, below 60% moisture, the larvae will dry out and grow slowly. If too wet, above 85% moisture, the trays easily become waterlogged, lack oxygen, and the larvae die easily. More seriously, if the waste contains heavy metals from urban garbage or pesticides from sprayed vegetables, toxins accumulate in the larvae's bodies, causing gradual death or making the final product unsafe for livestock and poultry. A practical tip is to always check moisture by hand. Squeeze tightly and no water drips out. That is ideal. Choose clean waste sources from household kitchens, clean vegetable markets, and avoid industrial waste or spoiled vegetables showing signs of pesticide spraying. Fourth, diseases and natural enemies. Unexpected threats. Parasitic fungi or bacteria from contaminated feed spread quickly in highly humid environments, potentially killing 60 to 70% of the colony. Natural enemies such as ants, rats, birds, and houseflies compete for food or attack directly, causing loss of 20 to 40% of the larvae. Second risk, weather changes and hidden costs, the silent profit eroders. This risk usually does not cause immediate failure like the survival issue, but quietly reduces economic efficiency over time, causing many people to give up after a few months. Regarding weather changes, an unpredictable natural factor. In tropical climate areas like Southeast Asia, erratic shifts between rainy and dry seasons can disrupt the larvae development cycle. During the rainy season, high humidity makes trays prone to waterlogging, creating an environment for bacteria to thrive and weakening the larvae. Conversely, hot dry seasons can cause tray temperatures to spike, similar to the temperature issue in the first risk. Newcomers often fail to prepare basic shading or ventilation systems, leading to longer than expected rearing cycles and fewer harvests per year. As a result, profits are gradually eroded due to increased electricity, water, or repair costs, while output falls short of expectations. To avoid this, monitor weekly weather forecasts and invest in basic covers, ventilation fans, or drainage systems from the beginning. This is a real lesson from long-established farms that have survived many seasonal changes. Regarding hidden costs, expenses lurking in daily operations. Many newcomers only calculate initial costs like buying starter eggs or building trays, but overlook ongoing recurring expenses. For example, feed costs. If the organic waste source is unstable, you may have to buy substitute materials, driving costs higher. Labor costs. In small home models, you think you can handle everything yourself, but daily tray checking, harvesting, and fertilizer processing require significant time, which can affect your main job. For large farms, hiring labor and retraining become burdens if workers are unfamiliar with the techniques. Additionally, disease prevention costs such as buying nets against natural enemies or biological agents are often overlooked, leading to larger losses later. The consequence is that actual profits are lower than projected, making the model unsustainable. The advice from experienced farms is to create a detailed financial plan, including a reserve fund for these fluctuations, and secure a stable feed source from local partners right from the startup phase. Third risk, breeding management and stock maintenance, a foundation easily overlooked. This risk relates to maintaining the adult fly colony for egg production, often underestimated by newcomers who focus too heavily on the larvae. If not managed well, you will face continuous stock shortages, leading to production interruptions. Black soldier flies require specific conditions for mating and egg laying, such as sufficient natural light duration and appropriate humidity. If the breeding cage lacks light due to being placed in a closed room or is too dry, the flies lay fewer eggs, causing the stock to weaken over time. Many newcomers buy external stock without learning self-breeding techniques, leading to dependency and high costs. Furthermore, if the breeding colony is not isolated from diseases, the entire cycle can be affected. To address this, design breeding cages with good ventilation netting, provide nutritious food for the flies such as ripe fruit, and monitor regularly to detect problems early. For long-term stock maintenance and avoiding inbreeding, after several generations, the stock can weaken due to close mating, reducing egg hatch rates and producing lower quality larvae. Many farms fail because they do not periodically introduce new stock or diversify stock sources. The solution is to learn crossbreeding with stock from other sources or collaborate with reputable farms to exchange stock, helping maintain colony health in the long term. Fourth risk, market and product consumption, the final step that determines success or failure. Even if rearing is successful, if you cannot sell the product, all efforts are in vain. This is a business risk that many newcomers overlook. Black soldier fly larvae are valuable as animal feed or fertilizer, but the market is still new in many places. Newcomers often overproduce without surveying demand, leading to inventory buildup and spoilage. For example, if selling to poultry farmers raising chickens and ducks, you need to prove high protein quality and safety, but lacking certification makes it hard to convince buyers. At large scale, competition with imported products is also an issue. To avoid this, research the market first. Connect with nearby livestock farms, join online agriculture groups, or start with small customers to build credibility. Regarding product quality management, the final product must be clean, dry, and non-toxic to fetch a good price. If the larvae are contaminated from the feed, they will not meet standards, leading to loss of customers. Focus on simple processing methods, such as drying or freezing, and perform regular checks to ensure quality. In summary, rearing black soldier fly larvae is not an impossible challenge, but it requires thorough preparation to avoid these common risks. From the experience of long successful farms in China, the key is to start small, learn continuously, and closely monitor factors such as temperature, feed, and breeding. Join black soldier fly farming communities to share experiences, invest in basic equipment, and create a clear financial plan. With this approach, you not only minimize failure, but also turn the model into a sustainable income source, contributing to green agriculture. If you are planning to start, begin by experimenting with one small tray at home to accumulate real practical experience. Thank you for watching the video. If you found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to receive more sharing about black soldier fly farming. See you in the next video.